This is the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less. Ever wish you could re-listen to your favorite interview or segment? Do you enjoy hearing older shows for the first time in years? Then the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less is just what you need. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less. Today's show is coming from June the 7th in 2011. Two guests that have definitely cemented their place in barbecue history for one reason or another. First up is Mr. Heath Hall, talking about what I think is probably the most unique barbecue product to ever hit the market. Whether it is relevant today or not, it has definitely got a spot in barbecue history. Let's get to it. Here is Greg and Heath Hall from June in 2011.
Big announcement. Big announcement. So allow me to roll the drum roll. Coming from Heath Hall Pork Barrel Barbecue. Heath, give us the big announcement that just happened.
Well, we were pleased to announce the world's first barbecue fragrance.
Fragrance. Q. I mean, could it be a better suited name for this type of item?
I don't think so. I think we were looking for something that kind of had a fragrancy sound, a little French sounding, and Q, I think, nailed it. And it also, of course, nails the barbecue angle.
All right, so for people that are immediately skeptical here, Heath, this is the real deal. I mean, I actually put in a order today, and I'm waiting for it. This isn't something where I've just given you $25 and you're going to go make off like a bandit, right?
It is not. You actually, congratulations, were the very first person in the history of the world, as far as I know, to purchase a bottle of barbecue fragrance cologne.
Yeah! First, I've never been first at anything except hosting an incredibly popular internet radio show.
Yes, well, I mean, we will send you a gold star, but your shipment is in the mail, so look for it over the next couple days.
All right,
this weekend's going to be good for you, is all I can say.
This has to be something that the people amongst the barbecue purists have been clamoring for. How long has this been in the works?
We came to the conclusion that the world needed something like this back in January, so we've been working on it about 6 months.
And how does one go about putting together a fragrance, let alone this is something that you're obviously bringing to the barbecue and grilling community, but how does one go about getting a fragrance down? How are you able to pick out, olfactory senses to tickle the, not taste buds, but tickle the senses?
Well, the first thing we started with is that, just a vision of a barbecue in the backyard, and you got people pulling into your driveway, you're smoking or grilling, and the first thing that you hear from them is, man, that smells good. And what are those first scents? Smoke, meat, probably some sweetness from maybe the sugars and the rubs and the sauces cooking.
Right.
And so we went and found a couple of scent factories out there, some perfumiers, and talked to them, and we got a couple samples back that were, let's just say, not so good. And then we finally found a company that nailed it, we think. So you're going to smell at front of the smell a nice smoky flavor, and it's going to have some back notes of some spice and some sweetness. Or I'll just read to you what it says on the back.
Please.
I think it nails it down pretty good. An intoxicating bouquet of spices, smoke, meat, and sweet summer sweat.
Sweet summer sweat. Obviously, something that sounds fantastic. Who is helping you bottle this?
Currently, you're talking to one of the bottlers. We actually were shipped all of the fragrance from our fragrance company, shipped bottles from the bottle company, and we're bottling it. So we're doing just about everything except standing in the facility making the cologne.
And this is something that you have, I'm guessing, zero experience doing.
Well, I spent 6 years studying filling bottles, but beyond that, that's about all I've got. Yeah, this is definitely
that's barbecue sauce
from us. We do have a lot of experience filling barbecue bottles, but no, this is something that what we really wanted was some kind of a product that no one else had that would just stand out, and the world would say, Really? Is that true? Is that real? Which is, I believe your email was,
Yes.
Is this real?
That's right.
And it is real, and, we wanted to have something that was unique so we could draw people in and really then, hopefully get them into the world of pork barrel barbecue sauces and rubs and get to really smell and taste and feel the real barbecue products that we bring.
Heath Hall joining us here from the show. PorkBarrelBBQ.com is his website. He's been on the show a number of times, just releasing a new fragrance for the barbecue and grilling world, and I'm sure to be consumed by the masses across the land, and it's called aptly Q. Is there a particular website that they can go to, Heath, to pick up a bottle or 10?
Yeah, there's a couple things that I'd love for folks to do. One, check out the website, which is www.porkbarrelbbq.com/Q. That's QUE. And when you go there, we've filmed 3 commercials. These commercials are spoofs off of several really popular fragrance commercials from the past, and one off of a Match.com commercial.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a little voting going on, see which one people think is their favorite. And if we sell 50 million bottles, then we're going to buy a spot on the Super Bowl and put that ad up. So help us sell 50 million bottles. Pick your favorite, and you'll see it on the Super Bowl coming up in January.
Over under, Heath. Over under for selling 50 million bottles of Q.
Well, we've got, I've had to hire security. We've got Ralph Lauren and Calvin Klein and Armani chasing us down everywhere for this top secret formula.
Of course.
It's and Macy's and Nordstrom's and all these department stores are just clamoring for a few 100,000 bottles. So, I'd say over under probably 1%.
1%. Sounds great. Sounds like this could actually happen. Do you have some big time interest? Are you using your Shark Tank contacts to help you get this through?
This is all Brett and I and our crazy and maybe deprived minds that put this together. We certainly are working with Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank on some of the potential marketing sides. We had a couple interesting phone calls today from some of the larger potential TV shows that are interested in doing something with this, and hopefully we'll have some announcements on that pretty soon.
Wow, excellent. All right, this is Heath Hall again, and just announcing that Q is now on the market. If you are a barbecue guy and you've always wanted to have that scent hang around you, even during a day job if you have one, I know I do. I know Heath has something that he wants to smell like all the time and track the ladies, and perhaps if you're so inclined, the gentlemen as well. What's that smell? What's that odor? What's that just succulent smell coming off of you? Well, it's Q, ladies and gentlemen, and it's brought to you by the guys at Pork Barrel BBQ. Heath, one more time with the web address.
The web address is www.porkbarrelbbq.com/Q. And you can also follow all the interesting chatter on Twitter at QUE Cologne. So QUECOLGONE. And there's actually been some pretty funny stories already written. One today on the 5 fragrances that will make you gag, and we are proud to be one of those 5 already on day 1. So there's some pretty funny stories coming out all over the country, and I think as the week and weeks progress, we'll see some more of those funny things out there.
But the bottom line, Heath, this is something that I could wear to work, and I can smell. I'm not going to gross anybody out.
You can wear this to work. It is maybe not one of the top 2 or 3 choices that you would choose to wear to work, but it probably is the number 1 choice as far as if you want people to come to you and to ask you if you've just opened up your smoker and if you've brought meat into work.
All right. Well, I'm
certain you're going to smell a little smoky.
Certainly looking forward to putting that on my person and seeing how well it works. Again, Heath Hall joining us here on the show, always bringing something new and exciting to the world of barbecue and grilling. This one does not disappoint as well. It's Q, everybody. Heath, I appreciate the time tonight.
You bet. Let us know what you think when you get it.
Sure will. All right, buddy.
To put in your request for a future show, please contact John Solberg via email at johnjon@thebbqcentralshow.com.
Did you buy some Q? How was it for you? Interesting. Definitely a place in history. Hey, before we jump into the second segment, which features one of the greatest barbecue icons ever, Amy Mills, author, 17th Street barbecue maven, let me ask you a question. Are you following the Barbecue Central Show on social media? Easy to do, much appreciated. It is at BBQ Central Show on Twitter and Instagram, and / BBQ Central Show on Facebook. Give the big show a follow. It is much appreciated. Let's get right into the second segment. Here is Greg with Amy Mills from June the 7th, 2011.
All right. As promised, joining me now to talk a little about all things really related to the world of barbecue and grilling. She was a judge on the Best in Smoke TV show. She was also part, she's not even also, but she is also part of the On-Q consulting firm, 17th Street Barbecue, Memphis Championship Barbecue Restaurants. You're damn right. It's first time guest to the show, and I'm honored to say that is Amy Mills. Amy, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm fabulous. Thank you. And you?
I'm doing very well, Amy. Thanks for asking. I didn't know if you noticed, and I'm probably putting you on the spot here, but what do you think the percentage of chance that Mike Mills will be receiving the newest scent from Pork Barrel Barbecue called Q for Father's Day?
Well, I really have no idea. He wears essence of pork every day. That's his scent of choice.
Before we get into all of this tonight, Amy, that I've decided to lay out that you have no idea what we're talking about. For the people that don't know, there you go. For the people that don't know, Amy Mills, how about a little background about yourself? And I mean, this is going to seem like the lamest question in the whole world, but how you kind of get into the whole world of barbecue.
Okay. Well, I'm the daughter of Mike Mills, who is somewhat known in the world of barbecue. And I have always, I grew up in barbecue. I moved away from home. I did other things, mostly marketing, PR, and advertising jobs. I lived in Dallas, and now I live in Boston most of the time. And I've always been a little bit involved in the business, but maybe for the past 7 to 10 years, even more so. And it really started when I wrote the book, Peace, Love, and Barbecue. When I would go home, I would hear all of these stories, or I would travel to events with my dad, and I knew that those were stories that needed to be captured and written down. I think the thing that's really special about Peace, Love, and Barbecue is that these men talk differently to one another than they do to a reporter. And that has really been the charm and the appeal of that book. So I really, just started working in the family business sort of part-time, and now it's about 20 hours a day.
Yeah, wow. So almost a jam-packed 24-hour wall-to-wall barbecue world. Mike Mills, obviously, as you said, your dad, widely considered to be like one of the legends when it comes to our industry of barbecue and grilling. When people list off the top people in barbecue, he's got to be at least, if not the first, one of the three mentioned out of the mouth by most folks. What's it like growing up with a father who is an icon in an industry?
Well, that's very interesting because, of course, I never really knew that until I got out into the barbecue world. And now that I'm so immersed in that world, I certainly hear it all the time. I think what's so special about my dad, is his charm. He has that very quiet charisma that people just lean forward when he speaks. Mm-hmm. Everyone likes to be around him. He is so incredibly knowledgeable. The thing I learn from him every day, every time someone asks him a question, I learn something new as well. The amount of information about barbecue that's tucked away in that brain of his is really pretty astounding. I don't know. That's a difficult question to answer. It was fabulous. I think what I'm relearning over and over again, especially as I'm working on our next book, I'm trying to relearn all those lessons he tried to teach me that didn't quite take the first time.
That's funny how that happens.
He's had to repeat numerous times, and now I'm really trying to capture those so that other people can benefit from them as well.
Amy Mills joining us here on the show. A number of places that you can find her as far as web presence is concerned. We have On-Q Consulting, which we're going to get to. That's the letter R, the letter U, OnCue, ONCUE.com. And then, of course, you have 7th Street Barbecue. You have Memphis Championship Barbecue. That's Murfreesboro, Illinois, and Las Vegas, Nevada, respectively. You segued into the book there real nicely for me, Amy. People recommend books all the time on barbecue. Lots of cookbooks that are mentioned. But indeed, Peace, Love, and Barbecue, like probably your dad's name is mentioned as far as one of the best ever. This book seems to make it at the top of everybody's list. Many consider it to be one of the most important books as it relates just to barbecue in general. You did kind of tell us a little bit about the book in itself, but the impetus behind it with these stories that you thought needed to be heard. Why do you think it's done so well for so long?
Well, I do think it's the stories. There is literally not a week that goes by that I do not get an email from a man that says, I haven't read a book since high school, but I read your book cover to cover. People can certainly cook from it. It has fabulous recipes, but the stories really resonate with people. There are the highs, the lows, the background, the little tidbits that aren't really written down anywhere else. I think people feel as though they know the people in the book. And there are several people. There's a man who's an attorney in St. Louis. He travels all over the country frequently, and he will write to me or call me and say, I'm going to be in such and such town. Can you call so-and-so and see if he would meet me, make sure he's going to be at his restaurant. I want him to sign my book. People have they take that book around like it's a yearbook and gather signatures and, make a real collector's item. It's a very interactive book. There's so many things about it on so many levels, and I think that's the appeal.
So what's the new book going to be about? Do you give us a little scoop here on the show?
I can. I'm actually working on 2 more books, and the one book is called Praise the Lord, and it is a book. It's a little bit more. I don't really want to call it a business book. It's because it really applies to any area of life. But it's a lot of life lessons. Things I learned growing up, things I learned from my dad in the business world, and how they translate. And it certainly will probably be. It'll be called a business book, but it will really apply to any facet of your life. And while it will be centered around the barbecue industry, it will be relevant to any type of business or life situation.
Sounds great. Amy Mills joining us here on the show. When is that going to be released out?
At this moment, it is scheduled for fall 2012.
All right, so you got a little ways yet.
And that's today's Best Moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less. If you'd like to hear this complete show, head over to the BBQCentralShow.com. There is a link in the show notes that will take you right to the complete episode. If you want to find something out while you're over there, check out the search feature. It is a strong search box. You can find anything you want to know if you're looking for information, looking for a particular guest. If you would like a Best Moments of the Barbecue Central show custom built just for you, send me a note at John, Jon, at the BBQCentralShow.com. I'll get it pulled together for you. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, I am your host, John Solberg, and I do look forward to talking to you again soon.